keep this rolling. We've got it figured out. That interview we just had with Lila's Light Up the World project was probably one of my favorite moments of this entire event. I'm not sure how you guys are going to top it, but I'm sure you're going to try. So keep commenting, keep sharing, keep the momentum going, and make sure people join the new feed. But we will have all of the previous recorded performances put on our stream and in the Earth Day Virtual Fest group. So if you haven't joined, make sure you join the group. We'll have a lot of different interviews, performers, and other opportunities and activities going on throughout the day. And right now, everybody is sharing their Earth Day activities in quarantine in the group. We're having posts all the time from all over the world. I saw a really awesome post of a little girl in India doing a poem for Earth Day. So all over the place, we have people celebrating this despite us all being in lockdown and being in these weird, unique circumstances. Again, for those of you who don't know me, I am Andrew Sartain. I'm the president of Earth Rebirth. I'm your host today for Earth Day Virtual Fest 2020. Right now, we have in the staging area Alma Russ. I'm going to go ahead and bring her in with me so we can kick off the second round of performances. Alma, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah. My internet is a little wacky sometimes. I'm in Western North Carolina in the mountains, and it's beautiful, but sometimes the internet is sometimes a little wacky. So
I understand. We're all having issues today, so don't worry about it. We'll keep an eye on the tech support stuff for you, but I'm not going to delay you too long. You already told us where you're from. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been playing music.
Well, I reckon I've been writing songs for the past 4 years, but I've been playing instruments since I was about 11, so about 10 years in all.
Cool. And so what do you
yeah.
on? Your style of writing, that sort of deal.
I'm so sorry. I what did you say?
There's a little bit of a lag, but what's kind of your style of writing and music and kind of what you like to focus on in your style?
That's a hard question because I like to write a bunch of different songs. Sometimes it's a coping mechanism for me, and then sometimes I find that I'm only so interesting and I like to tell stories about other people that resonate with me.
Cool.
So
all right.
That's the fun thing about writing. You can be anything.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and let you take over so you can just take off and perform whatever you're feeling. We'll give you a good 45 minutes or so, and I'll jump in when we're getting kind of close to the end, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more. But thank you for joining us, and enjoy your performance.
Thank you. And thank you, Lila. Those were some really beautiful candles. And yeah, I don't think anyone's going to top that. But yeah, thank you for sharing. That was really beautiful. This is a song I wrote when I was sad in December, but it's been resonating with me lately, so I'm gonna play it. The stars, they don't shine over my hometown tonight anymore. Heart lonely, inflated by the lights of your city. And I can't recognize the old county road anymore. Like someone you once knew, but time and distance grew, and now you got nothing to say. Now I know why the old folks cry. Time slips away without so much as a goodbye. But I'm thankful for today. I'm sad, and whiskey when I'm sick, but mostly all I really need is for you to need me. Seems like everyone's got their own pieces of pain. I won't pretend to understand, 'cause no one really can, but I'll hold you through the rain. And all you can do is make it through December. Try your best to always remember that you are loved, love and apart. Alright, I'm gonna just switch instruments for a second. Happy Earth Day, y'all! Lately, actually, I feel really blessed. I live pretty close to the Nantahala National Forest, and so during quarantine, I've been really enjoying getting out on some trails and going on some hikes and enjoying this beautiful, beautiful creation, beautiful earth, and yeah, this is an old-time song. It was originally done by a lady named Olabelle Reed. She was one of the first female banjo players to ever make a recording. But it really resonates with me. It's about endurance. It's called I've Endured. Who to thank it, so. Born in the mountains many years ago, I've climbed these hills and valleys through the rain and snow. I've seen the lightning flashing, heard the thunder roll. I've endured, how long must well, barefoot in the summer, on into the fall. There were too many mouths to feed, they couldn't grow the song. Well, I went to church on Sunday, and I'm rolling. I've been good, how long must oh, well, I work for the rich and I live with love. I've seen many heartaches, I've seen many more. Well, I've lived in love and sorrow and success. I've been good, how long must I I've been good, how long must So, one thing I like about playing band, I get the most authentic audiences because I feel like people either really love it or hate it. So if you hung in there, then thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah. So this is risky business, but I just really want to play this song. It's a new song. It was kind of inspired by a lot of uncertainty in terms of like what the next 2 months hold. And I'm a very antsy person, so that's hard for me, and it's having to teach me patience and trust. And so yeah, this is risky business because I've never played it for anyone before. So it might be a heartfelt train wreck, but here we go. When the daffodils evolve by one tail, and the mountains turn to green. When I memorize the sound of every stream. When the wheels of time turn before us, and everything is as it seems. On the day we return to our old dreams. Maybe I'll be northbound. Catch me if you can. But I keep my wishes in my own hands. And if I can't go north, I know it's for the best. So I'll sit right here and I'll think about the rest. I'm gonna chase those pretty rainbows if it costs me all my gold. All I need is $1 for the talk. And I will always find a reason, even if I have no rhyme. All I need is some gasoline, a little time. Left a man in Texas, wanting to see. Maybe one day I'll find someone I could never leave. And when I'm alone in the driver's seat, your love is closer than the air I breathe. When my hair is turned to silver and my laughter shows its lies, I hope my stories age as sweet as wine. So my life like it's a patchwork blanket, colors in gold and green. Every square for every beauty I've seen. I got a rambling heart and a wandering soul, and the highway haunts me like it's fool's gold. If I can't go north, if I can't go west, then I'll sit right here and I'll know it's for the best. Oh, I don't know. This is odd, but like, it's nice to know that like there might be someone listening. I miss playing for people. That's one thing that I really do miss. It is just like a form of connection that is really priceless and special to me. And so I look forward to when I can play for people in person again, as I'm sure everyone does. This is a newer song too. I don't have a name for it. The last one was called Fool's Gold, and this one doesn't have a name yet. My God, tell a warning that I'm free. Don't you sing no morning songs from me. Leave your black dress, wear the green. Don't you go taking on my grave. Won't you use your labor for to save these weary bones? Seeds have sown, and I wanna cry, but I can't, you know. Oh, dearest friend, and I've never known it's for me. And the crowd's swaying heavy on my back, but your love's pouring over all I like. All this pain, all being wasted. Every stone's a testament to lies, and every fighting word's a battle cry from broken place. I pray your bless, and I wanna cry, but I can't, you know. Oh, the dearest friend that I've ever known waits for me. So as I was kind of looking off to the side there, my family, we got a new dog right before this quarantine, and she's a babe, and she's walking around up here. She's gone now, otherwise I'd show y'all. She's precious. Her name's Frankie. She's my sister's, and she's awesome. So I hope you guys are doing well. I feel led to share this. So I don't know about y'all if y'all are interested in like love languages, but I like to know my love language because it helps me learn about myself. So one thing that I've found is, and realized even more, is that my love language is quality time. So not really being able to have friends and community around has like tested me, because like I have to like, you have to learn how to experience love in a different way than what you're used to. So for those of you who are in the same boat with me, you're not alone, and you have community and you have friendships and you have love, even if you can't be with them in person right now. So just keep that in mind. I know this is an Earth Day. This is an Earth Day show, so I don't know if a coal mining song would really fit it, but it is about I guess it's about the fall of the coal industry. So maybe it is, I don't know. So it's called Coal Tattoo. And if you were a coal miner back in the day and you got coal dust in an open wound in your veins, the coal dust would go into your body and it would leave a permanent blue marking on your skin. So this one's called Coal Tattoo, and it was actually really dangerous. So good thing we're changing to more renewable energy sources. And yeah. and roll, listening to my retired mind. Goodbye, Buckeye, and white sycamore. I'm leaving you behind. Well, I've been a coal mine all of my life, laying down track in a hole. I've got back like an iron blade, laying by the wind. Blood veins blue as the gold. Blood veins blue as the well, somebody said that's a strange tattoo you have on the side of your head. Well, I said that's a cool mark left by the cold, a little more than I've been dead. Oh, but I love the rumble and I love the dark. I love the cool of the slates, but it's gone now. Looking for the child, traveling and lurking. Traveling and lurking. Someday when I'm dead and gone to heaven, the land of my dreams, I won't have to worry about losing my job to bad times and big machines. When I got no house, Lord, I got no job, just gotta worry. So let a blue tattoo on the side of my head, left by the number 9 call, left by the number 9 call. Thank you, Ammon. Aw, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me. This is really great. I really appreciate it. Did I lose my guitar pick? No, I didn't. It's right here. Oh, that's good. So, like I said, I only write so many songs about myself because I'm only so interesting. So, here's an Earth Day related song, I guess. So, Grandma Gatewood, otherwise known as Emma Gatewood, she was the first woman to hike the Appalachian Trail, and she did it in 1950. For those of you who are from other places and you might not know what the AT is, the Appalachian Trail, it's a 2,000-mile long trail. It goes from Georgia, Maine to Georgia. I live right next to a section of it. So I'm really inspired by Grandma Gatewood's story. She had a really hard life, suffered from an abusive spouse for years, and after she hiked the AT at 68, she went on to hike the PCT out west, and she told her grandkids she was going for a walk. That's all she told them when she left, which I think is like awesome. And so they found out she was okay through newspapers. She gained a lot of notoriety. Anyways, I wrote this song about her. So through the hills and down the valleys low, everything I own I now wear upon my back. Some days I wonder how I'll carry on from Georgia to Maine. Seen it in the page of a magazine, and now I'm really here. I walk for miles under the trees, through grit and sweat and hope I carry on from Georgia to Maine. And I go through sun and rain, and freedom marks the way. Mile by mile delivers me from yesterday. Do you remember me, your adult girl? And dimly lit memories kept hidden from the world. Do you regret the bruises on my skin? The bruises that you left. What would you say if you could see me now? If you could know your anger would never drag me down. The wilderness shields me from you, just like it always did. Well, I've been somebody's mother, and I've been a cruel man's wife. Oh, but now I'm on my own here in paradise. And I go through sun and rain, and freedom marks the way. Mile by mile delivers me from yesterday. All right. Well, I'm not going over time. Okay, I've got time. Sweet. I think if I accidentally go over time, just like kick me off of here or something. I don't know. Oh, I'm working on an album. I'm done with the album. I'm just working on the production steps of it, and I'm very uncertain and very up in the air in terms of what I'm gonna do about releasing it. But nonetheless, it's really like exciting and rewarding. This will be my first album, and that song will be on it. And I'm currently working on a music video for it. My sister's really talented with filming and photography, and so we've been doing that. And yeah, if you're interested in following my shenanigans, I have a Facebook page, Alma Russ Music, and I have a website. And I'm on Instagram as always _Alma. So yeah. Anyways, this is another song that's on the album. It's not Earth Day related at all, but it's about someone who sold themselves short. It's called Better Than That. She don't like to think she's broken. She wonders if she's sane. Try to wash away her demons. She likes to fall open her pain. She'll be your trailer park princess. You'll be a toy she can play with. One day she will leave you. You'll hate her forever. But rise, oh, sympathy with that. She's just so sad, and you're just so glad that you're better than that. You're better than that. So you have to and do the smell of cigarettes leave you longing for her eyes. And do the last of your dollars sink into her lovely charms. She'll be your trailer park princess. You'll be a toy she can play with. Tell yourself you love her with the love that's true. Keep on taking care of her, 'cause that's what lovers do. And you're just so sad. You're just so glad that you're better than that. You're better than that. So you like to think One day she'll come back to you, longing in her eyes, and you'll listen as she beckons, and that she lost other lives. And you'll be so sad. Yes, you'll be so sad. You're not better than that. You're not better than that. Like you used to think. She'll be your trailer park princess if you'll give her your dollar store riches. She'll be your trailer park princess. Just know you won't be the king. Right. So again, happy Earth Day. Sometimes it feels like we're so small and there's not much we can do to help, but I like to think that like every little thing that you do counts. So, pick up that litter that you see on the trail. Don't leave your water running for extra minutes. Let's buy things that don't have as much plastic. I don't know, just little steps, right? That's where it starts. Love Mama Earth. This is a song that I wrote when I was frustrated, and I felt powerless, and then I realized that there was hope. So, probably getting close to finishing time here, but I think I've got 14 minutes. So, anyways, thank you guys so much if you're listening out there. Means a lot, and thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. Anyways, this one's called The River. Mama's on a backslide, wolves are at the door. Daddy's giving all he's got, but he just can't give it anymore. Sister, that's your own fights. Skies are never blue. Brother doesn't notice that your heart is broken up into and baby, don't. What you gonna do? Who's gonna have your back when it's all busted black and blue? Honey child, lay your burdens down. Roll in the river, go first. Love was found. Oh, you got flat tires, losing in pain. Running on the hamster wheel, living day to day. Whiskey's a black hole, talk is always cheap. The love that you can make him doesn't give the love you need. Baby, don't. What you gonna do? Who's gonna have back when it's all busted black and blue? Honey child, lay your burdens down. Rolling in the river, because first love was found. Another angry heart shot another gun, and the voices of the mortified are tucked away like the setting sun. Landfills getting bigger, Richer getting richer. Justice is irrelevant. Big money is the winner. It's a broken world. It'll get you down, but he came for the least of these. Yeah, he came for the least of these. Baby, doll, what you gonna do? Who's gonna have a back when it's all busted black and blue? But child, lay your burdens down, throw in the river. Where your first love was found. I would also like to admit that, oh, hey! What's up?
Sorry about that. I had my mic muted. How have you been?
Oh, I've been good. There's a lot to be thankful for.
Good.
Yeah, playing tunes. How have you been?
I've been good. Just doing this. Hopefully
Nice.
it goes smoothly all day. But really great set. Was that your last song?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Play more?
Either
play
way,
like
whatever. I'm going with the flow. Thank you so much for having me, though. Your set sounded awesome. Yeah. Okay, I'll play.
Well, if you want to keep going, that's chill with me. Our next thing starts at 1:45, and it is scheduled.
It's 1:35, I think.
Where you are? Okay.
So you're in Norman? How's it in Norman? Oh.
I moved out of Norman. So.
Okay. Cool. Oklahoma.
Well, you can go ahead and keep playing. I was just seeing how that worked and talking to Andrew. But, yeah. Okay, awesome.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'll play another.
Okay.
tried to put it on the track, rolling to Lord knows where. Oh Lord, lead me, oh Lord, now when rolling to Lord knows well, I've been to the east, I've been to the west, and I'm going where the city winds won't go. Oh Lord, lead me, oh Lord, now, going where the city winds don't Well, you should have been in town when Ruben came around. Hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Oh, Lord, lead me, oh, Lord, at night. Hear the whistle blow 100. Ruben, I tried putting it on the track. Ruben to the Lord knows
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Everyone, give it up for Alma. Leave your comments and love for her all the way from North Carolina. Just popping into the stream to kill it. Alma, do you have anything to say to anyone out there in the world?
Yes, like I said, hang in there. You have community and you are loved, even if you can't be with them right now at this moment. We're gonna get through this, and happy Earth Day. Enjoy the whatever natural areas around you. I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for coming and playing for us. Amazing job. If you like Alma's music, go like her on social media. We have her information down here on the scrolling banner. Also, if you feel the need to help her out and get her by, to pay a donation and tip her, whatever you feel like is good enough for her. So tip her on her Venmo at Alma Russ Music. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you. Maybe I'll pass through Oklahoma and catch you again sometime.
Yeah, we will have future events coming up, so I'll keep you posted for sure.
Thank you.
This is just step one for Earth Day, and hopefully we can keep them coming out. Hopefully all of you out there are enjoying the stream. I know I am. I'm enjoying watching all of you play, and I can't wait for everything to go. Awesome job again, Alma. Everyone, give her some love. Go check her out on Facebook. Find her music. Do whatever you feel to help her out. Awesome job again.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Bye.
Bye, North Carolina.
Bye everywhere.
What's up, everyone? So, up next, we'll have Andrew Sartain. He is the president and CEO of Earth Rebirth. I don't know if y'all know about Earth Rebirth, but I do. It's a pretty cool nonprofit organization that does sustainability and helps the community around them and the world. I'm gonna pull Andrew back in. And hold on, sorry guys. Okay, there you are. Bam. Sorry about that. We can't hear you. No. Hello?
Can fix that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. My default microphone likes to go to the wrong microphone, obviously. So, all right. That was awesome, man. This is, for a first round, I'm pretty proud of this so far. We have some good performers. Lila is still out of my Earth Day life right now. I'm on cloud 9. It is.
Yeah.
I don't know anything we've missed or anything you see that might have been a hiccup in the streaming. We'll make sure the videos get reposted. Make sure you join the Earth Day Virtual Fest group. That will be where you find a lot of these individual performances or interviews, things like that. Lots of good engagement right now. A lot of good people posting their activities for Earth Day. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Earth Rebirth in particular. Eamon, stay with me for a second because, we met with the Earth Rebirth Center. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in general about what Earth Rebirth does in a minute. But, one of the biggest lessons I'd say that I've taken in kind of my Earth Day philosophy rant for today is it's all based on trial and error. We all know we can do better and we're not doing enough. And even those of us that focus every day on these activities and the worries and concerns that are the environmental world, we know that we all can do more. And so that was the main goal when I started Earth Rebirth. But 4 or 5 years into that, one of the big trial and error lessons we had was our community center, because as a nonprofit, we kind of were taught to do a lot of certain cookie cutter things to move forward organizationally. And a center or a store or something that was physical that people could go to was one of those things that was just kind of ingrained as a big step forward. And we were making some incredible progress when it came to helping set up school gardens. We set up an aquaponic system where we raised $10,000 on Kickstarter for Norman High School. And that aquaponic system has been growing and serving food to the kids in the area ever since for the last 5 or 6 years. But after we did a lot of exciting things, we decided to make that step into a community center. And it was a bittersweet decision because we made a lot of wrong decisions and ended up finding that just like any big business or organization, you find yourself spreading yourself thin and spending money on overhead versus projects that impact people like school gardens. So Eamon, to bring you back into the conversation a bit, we met during that time when Earth Rebirth in that transition made this community center, and we were actually struggling to figure out how to handle our rent and our overhead. And Eamon came on board and, with a passion for music and a passion for wanting to bring people together, decided that he was going to focus a lot of his career and spare time on organizing events. And we organized hundreds of music events. But tell me a little bit about, why you decided Earth Rebirth as an organization was the type of group you wanted to partner with when you decided to take that leap into event organizing. Does that question make sense?
Yeah. Say that again. My bad. I'm trying to get things out of it. Doing the producer life.
When we had that building and you decided you were going to dive into organizing events, okay, what made you decide Earth Rebirth was the group that you wanted to focus on? There was Norman as a college town has a lot going on when it comes to the music scene or the bar scene, but he chose a community center and a nonprofit that was focused on gardening with kids to organize his music events. Why?
Uh, I saw what Andrew and the staff of Earth Rebirth was doing before I even was a part. My good friend Josh introduced me to Andrew and Chad and all the people of Earth Rebirth, playing an event randomly one night at the building. Uh, that's when I met my now best friend and for eternity my best friend Andrew Sartain, the guy right here. uh, and Andrew's passion for what he wants to do for the world is what I want to do with music. So, in all return, Earth Rebirth is to help people stay sustainable and live a sustainable lifestyle and learn how to plant things and collect rainwater. Well, for me, freshen up management is freshening up the earth with the music that I provide for you, management wise. So Freshen Up Management really started at the center of Earth Rebirth, and I've been doing it since, and that was like 3-4 years ago when that happened. But I chose Andrew and Earth Rebirth because of the passion they have for people, because I'm a people person. My first band was called Social Creatures for a reason. Like, I can go and say a lot of things about how Earth Rebirth has impacted my life, let alone the world. So,
well, and I appreciate that answer. I'm not trying to get you to necessarily toot our horn as much as I'm trying to dive into a little bit more about why you valued this. But I appreciate that answer a lot. So I'm gonna let you disappear for a little bit, and we have 10 or so minutes, I think, before we do painting with Juliet, and she's gonna go live. So Eamon, if you want to focus on getting Juliet in here, just into the staging area, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Earth Rebirth in general and some of the tools that we have for you. So if Eamon, you can share my screen with people, we can either put it on split screen or on full, whatever kind of you want. I'm just going to go through, and just the big one for sure that I want to remind you guys is to go to Facebook, and we have all kinds of groups. I love that you guys are in the Earth Day Virtual Fest group right now. Thank you from all over the world for being a part of this event. This is an event that will continue on day by day and year by year. As we say every Earth Day, every day should be Earth Day. And so continue to live that mantra by joining this group, inviting your friends, and sharing what you do on a daily basis, not just today. But we're going to pull up my screen in a minute. I want you to make sure that you go to Facebook and you like Earth Rebirth as a page. You can click on it as a host of this Facebook Live. At the same time, we have a variety of groups for you to participate in. The Garden Network, Take H2 Ownership, Earth Rebirth Nation. There's a lot of different groups. If you want to become a member, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and there's some options. But as an organization focused on food, energy, and water, we wanted to really give people Eamon, that's not who we wanted to show. That was our painter getting ready to paint. We're going to throw her in the spot for you guys and just make her feel awkward. But hi, Juliet. Nice to see you, and that the video is working. Earth in particular focuses on food, energy, and water. Again, I come from an oil and gas family. All my family lives in West Texas. So if you've seen Friday Night Lights, my family is very much Midland Lee was my dad's high school. Permian was my mom's high school. And my grandfather has been in the oil and gas industry since he was 17 years old. As a kid, my whole focus was nature and animals and my love for, the natural world and ecology. And as I got older, there was very much a pat on the head telling me that, we have to pay the bills. You have to take care of your family. This is great, but the solutions aren't there yet. So Earth Rebirth in particular, as I went into college was focused on the idea that we all have to take care of our daily lives. If the solutions we can provide to each other environmentally can solve problems economically, then people will be much more incentivized to take them. The priority for me was always environmental. It was never about money. That's why I started a nonprofit. But there are so many of us that are not fortunate enough that we have to focus every day on working 2 or 3 jobs or getting the bills paid. And so I'm going to make sure we get a split screen here so I can show you my website, and we'll talk a little bit about what Earthwork does and some of our tools. But we launched the Garden Your Own Growth program in 2012 to help schools, communities, and businesses set up school gardens. And for the last 7 or 8 years, we've set up dozens, over 120 community gardens as a whole. But over that time, we've learned a lot in the trial and error that is trying to sustain those projects. School gardens are really good for a lot of things. They allow people to get kids outside and excited. They allow kids to get their hands dirty and experience a solution for the first time. But they are also a project that tends to be a bit of a pat on the back. There's something that over time you see it fades and becomes extremely hard to take care of. And so one of our biggest goals became not just helping people set up gardens, not just helping teachers set up gardens, but in a state that teachers and schools are so overwhelmed and don't have the resources to sustain what they do, we needed gardens to be an economic resource, something that could actually help improve the budget of the classes, help teachers provide more resources and curriculum. So if you go, I don't know what Eamon's doing, but he's definitely not giving me a split screen like I'm demanding. So if you just all want to pull up your own tab and go to earthrebirthnow.org, there is tabs for each of you as a teacher, a student, a parent, whoever you are, we have something that can help you. And whether it's online courses to help you garden at home, whether it's our ebook available in the store on how to garden with your children and set up a garden that you maintain all year round, a very good resource for during quarantine, or whether it's in general how to actually be an activist. There we go. That's not what I want. That's Eamon, get rid of that. The website in particular, again, has a lot of resources where you can take online trainings for free on how to be a garden checker for a school. It allows you the opportunity to, as a teacher, access curriculum and open source resources to help in the classroom specifically. We have lessons that are categorized by subject, by type, by age group, whatever you need as a teacher. And so this event is not about Earth Rebirth. It's about Earth Day. I did want to plug what we do, and please go to the website at the bottom, earthrebirthnow.org, and to Ellen with Eamon's dumb hashtags, but just kidding, Eamon. Love you. Also go to earthrebirthacademy.com. That is the website where all the trainings are, and you can find a lot. You can become a member for free at that website. And then if you want to become an official member of Earth Rebirth, it's as low as $10 a month, and you can get all kinds of resources. Some of the paid events and stuff we do throughout the year you can get for free, like the Wild and Scenic Film Festival in Oklahoma. We have a lot of opportunities, but our goal as an organization is to bring you together around what you can do for your family and what you can do for your community, because solving the problems is bigger than just ourselves. We can dream about how I want to protect the monkeys I loved as a child and save the polar bear sitting on the iceberg that's starving. But if we're paying our bills and working 2 or 3 jobs, we're all going to just feel guilt rather than feel change. And if we want to do something about it, we all have to dream big, but we have to act bigger. And so I think we're getting close. Eamon, do you want to jump back in here real quick? I want to double check with you, just producer-wise, and make sure our painter is Juliet in the staging area, ready to go. You threw her in front of us, so I'm assuming so. You're muted right now. I'm getting a yes from your shake.
Yes, she is in the staging area. Sorry. I didn't see where you put the webpage at. So.
That's all right. We'll figure that out later, and it's not a big deal. Okay. We'll put the links to those websites in the comment section today is not about Earth Rebirth. It's about Earth Day. And it's about us all figuring out what we can do to just come together in this weird, awkward time that we call the 50th anniversary of Earth Day in quarantine. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this. Eamon, you want to go ahead and add Juliet over here, and I'll talk to her a little bit?
Yeah. I'll hide me in.
So again, while you guys are waiting, I hope you guys will share this event. Share it. Hi, Juliet. Eamon, make sure she's not muted. Get the audio working right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. There you go. How are you doing today?
I am good.
Yeah, nice and clear sound. You had nice and clear visual of you here, so that's going well. Tell everybody where you're at for us.
So I actually live in Georgia. I live in Smyrna specifically. We actually live 15 minutes away from Atlanta. However, I have horses in the backyard. I live in the woods, basically. I love going outside. Earth Day is one of my favorite days. My mom used to work at EPA, so we always celebrated Earth Day almost every year. So, as I said, I live in Atlanta. A little bit about me is my name is Juliet McKinley. I attend Capstone Academy. I am a junior. I am a master 4-H'er for any 4-H'ers watching. I have a few friends that might join this stream.
Yeah, awesome.
But I just want to do some fun painting with you guys.
That's great. And I'm in Gainesville right now, so I'm visiting my mom, so I'm not too far from you. So hi, nearby quarantine neighbor. Yeah, I'm going to pass it off to you. So you are going to be painting what for us again?
So I'm going to be teaching y'all how to draw, first off, draw a tree or paint it, and then we're going to be using stuff around the house like Q-tips and bubble wrap to actually add leaves to these trees.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. Well, that sounds like a perfect Earth Day opportunity. So everybody grab whatever spare craft materials you have. Take notes if you don't. And Juliet, we'll talk to you in about an hour or so. Have fun.
Hey. So hi, everybody. As I said, my name is Juliet McKinley. I'm a 4-H'er, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw trees. And I love trees. My favorite tree is a pine tree, but kind of in honor of Earth Day, one of the biggest symbolisms of the earth is trees, obviously, and we depend on them so much. So the visual I have here is unfortunately not what we're going to be painting today, but my brother and I, we host a STEAM club, the McKinley's 4-H STEAM Project Club, where I post a lot of videos about art. So if you'd like to learn to see how to make this painting, you can come check out our page. And today we're going to be focusing on kind of trees more like this, and I'll show you how to add leaves with some fun ways like bubble wrap and Q-tips. So first things first is a lot of people don't know how to draw a tree. So I'm going to start with Sharpie and then fill in with paint since I have a larger canvas, but you can grab any paper, you can work with crayons, markers, it doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. Now the methods with the leaves, I would recommend using paint. Acrylic paint, a lot of people have that in their house, or any kind of paint. Unfortunately, watercolors wouldn't work, but any kind of thick, not necessarily watery paint would work great. So I'm going to start with the Sharpie so you guys can see this, but we're going to start on our canvas. I'm going to move it up a little bit just so it's easier. And let's talk a little bit about trees and their anatomy. Is a lot of times they're like your hand. They start thick and then thin out. So when it comes to drawing, the first thing I like to do is start with a base. Kind of just to give an idea on how thick your tree is going to be. So the bottom is always going to be the thickest. And I know it's a thin, kind of plain line. And with a tree, you like to work your way up. So I'm just going to drag this all the way up to the top, kind of funneling my way in. And I'm working with a black, but you can use browns. You can use whatever you'd like. And I'm just going to kind of make kind of a point. This is kind of the easiest way to kind of explain it, but it funnels its way up as more of a fun way. And what you can do is you can kind of curve off part of what you've drawn, this kind of wonky triangle, and we're going to make that roots later. So then with your Sharpie, and again, I have a large canvas, so I'm not filling this entire tree with a Sharpie. I'm going to switch over to paint in a minute. But by doing it like this, it helps, especially if you do switch to paint and outline with pencil, but then want to color in with marker. This is a good way to start it. So I always like to start with the bottom that you see kind of down here and work my way up. So we're going to start with kind of what I refer to as the anchor branches and just kind of work your way out. And I like to use trees kind of with triangles, as you see a lot. And I usually like to do 4 in total, where we'll have 2 more up here. Maybe a longer one over here. And then from these anchor branches, you're then going to add smaller branches to kind of extend to give more realism to your tree. And this is where I'm going to switch over to paint in a minute, where after you kind of add any stray twigs or sticks, you'll have your fun little tree. That looks a little wonky right now, just because it's not filled in, but that's okay. I'm going to also add a little bit more branch over here. But my recommendation when drawing trees is kind of start with a funnel and work your way out, maybe even fan out. So now that I have my lovely branches, my trees tend to be a little skinnier, as a lot of my trees here in Georgia are often straight up and then stick straight out. One of my favorite trees are pine trees, and we see those all the time here. We also get a lot of sweet gumball trees, so my tree is fairly skinny. So now I'm going to switch over. I'm going to have a Bob Ross moment and switch over to my palette where I have a couple different colors. Right now I'm going to use the black just so it shows up, but you can use browns, you can use any kind of color you'd like for trees. And again, feel free to check out our Facebook to show how different tutorials that I've used to show how to make your tree look realistic or paint a really cool scene. So I'm going to go over to my bigger brush for right now for the bottom and move over to a smaller one. Dip right into that black. I'm going to get a little water on my brush. I have that off screen. And we're going to go ahead and fill in our tree. I also would like to thank Andrew for allowing me to do this and letting this set up. I'm so happy to be a part of the Earth Day Virtual Fest. Now, I may often look over to this side because we have our other camera going, because every day or weekly we have classes on our STEM class. This is also part of the STEM classes. So hi, my 4-H Facebook family. So we have 2 groups of people watching this. So right now I'm just filling in the base of my tree with my paint, just so things don't take forever, so you guys don't have to watch me fill the entire thing with Sharpie. That would take up the entire hour and ruin all the fun parts to where we're gonna make these trees look really colorful. Because he kind of looks a little boring, just bare. So again, I'm just taking black paint, filling it in. My recommendation at home for more realism is to bust out your brown paints if you have any. Black is fine, or brown crayons. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush now that I'm going into the branches. Go in with that same black. And we're going to fill in these kind of standard, the anchor branches. And don't be afraid to add an extra stick or elongate a branch. One of my favorite painters, Bob Ross, always says trees need a friend. So I have quite a few pre-painted. And this isn't just for kids. A lot of times when doing paint classes, a lot of times people will stick their kids in front of the computer. But if you're an adult, I would highly recommend to pick up a paintbrush. You'd be surprised how many adults love to paint, but then won't express it as much. If you want to get real special, grab some grape juice, maybe some wine, and paint along with me. So I'm reaching towards the top, And we're almost ended with our simple little tree. So there's my basic everyday little tree by using the simple technique, which is the following technique, building anchor branches and then filling it in. So now let's say you don't have paintbrushes and you wanted to do this entirely with stuff that you have around the house. Well, I have quite a few different methods to teach you. So I'm going to use this one that I already have here and show you a fun way to do it. So I'm bringing out my canvas again, or my paints. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go with simple green color. And what I've done is I've taken Q-tips and tied it around with a rubber band. Now I'm going to use the side that is kind of more expanded rather than the compressed side just to add more leaves, but it's entirely up to you. And I'm going to dip a little bit into this green, dab a little bit on the side, and here's the really cool part. You just grab your canvas, and I'll bring it up towards the camera so you can see a little better. And just dab. Don't be afraid to dip into more paint. And this also gives a really cool textured look. You can add as little or as a lot. This is really fun to do with kids. It's fun to do and regardless. And it's a good stress reliever. Now, one of my favorite organizations that I work with is called the Unlonely Project, where it connects people together with art, especially with Earth Day being about with the earth, we're included. So I really think that if you do decide to paint along with me, paint a tree, or just paint in general, break out your paints and have a good time with them, think of a loved one and share it with them saying, hey, I thought of you while making this. What do you think? Or even give it to them after the quarantine, or share it with them, mail it to them. It's entirely up to you. But here's a fun way to add leaves is by using Q-tips to create a really cool leaf effect. Now I'm going to move over to this blue painted canvas just because I'm going to use different colors for it and some white in it, so it wouldn't necessarily show up. But again, it's another simple drawing of a tree. The camera's reversed, so it's a little hard for when I turn something. I have to think about it. But what we're going to do is you're going to take some bubble wrap. Depending on how big your canvas is or how big you want your leaves to be. I have a small square since I have a small canvas. It's fairly simple. And I'm actually going to fold it in half just so I have a little bit more control. And I'm going to go into my palette, dab a little bit, or kind of press it into your paint. So you get the little bubbles, get the paint on those little air pockets, put it over your painting, and pull it away. A lot of friends and family have been sending packages to each other to stay connected. And I think by using some of the bubbles you may receive, it's a good way to recycle it, and make sure you recycle your boxes when not using them. So I'm going to add some more paint. And just kind of dab it on. Now I'm going to also use the other side that's not entirely covered and dip into a little white or a red. We'll go with red first. And then dab it on to add some variety. And then you can go into some white. This part can get a little messy, but it's all right. And go towards the top. And then we have our fun bubble wrapped little tree. Now I'm going to teach you the normal way on how I would paint a tree. Then we'll get a little messy with finger painting. So with the normal tree, I have another one that's fairly similar to this one, and I'm going to use kind of a square brush. And I'm going to dip into the reds and yellows because my favorite season is fall. You can do the same technique with greens or any other color you'd like. So I'm going to dip into my reds first and mix a little bit of it with this yellow over here. To get kind of this orangey color. Once you have it on your brush, and this is a kind of square brush, but any brush will do, you can still use your Q-tips or the bubble wrap. I would recommend using the Q-tips because you have a little bit more control with this technique. This is how I would normally do a tree, is you basically just dab it and kind of spread it out. Dip back into my orange. And remember, if you're low on paint at home, you can mix any of the primary colors to get any color you'd like. So as long as you have red, yellow, and blue, you can mix the majority of colors. I'm just going to dab on these little leaves. We need to mix a little bit more orange. A little bit more. And down. I want my tree to be very full, so I'm going to kind of connect the area between where the leaves are. And just use my brush to create fun little leaves. So the main color I'm using right now is kind of a blood orange. And to add some kind of shading, I'm going to dip into some red. And dab towards the bottom with this red. Kind of looks like a big maple tree in the fall. And I'm going to clean off my brush real quick. And then I'm going to dip into some yellow for the top. Dab on your canvas a little bit, or your palette, my apologies. And then go to the top of your tree and add it towards the top. So the sun is hitting it. And I'll bring it closer to the screen in a minute if you're having a hard time seeing. This is how I normally paint the leaves on trees. Now on to the more fun part. And our last tree would be finger painting a tree. Now this is my brother's favorite way to paint a tree, as he's done a few finger painted trees. This is more abstract. And my recommendation is to make sure you're using washable paint. Be careful if you get it on your clothes. My recommendation is to roll up your sleeves, have water nearby. Try not to get any paint on your clothes. But this is a really fun activity, and a lot of people don't appreciate finger painting as much as it should. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to express yourself. And one of the coolest things I've seen is when people will paint on their hands and press it to a canvas, and they create this beautiful piece of art that I have no idea how they do that. So I'm going to dip into my greens and use my yellows, the same paints that I've been using. These are some simple acrylic paints that I've had around the house. If you're using acrylic paint, check to see if it's water-based. I know for sure that it will come off if it's water-based. If not, I would be careful about it. Tempera paint, I believe, is water-based, but any paint around the house, especially if you have kids, most of the time should be water-based. And if you're an artist at home who has worked with paints, you probably have a good idea whether your paint is washable or not. I'm going to dip a little bit into the screen and kind of just dab it like I did with the bubble wrap. I'm going to pile it down. And again, this isn't a universal way. You don't have to paint this type of tree. And if you do decide to paint anything, we'd love to see if you send anything to our Facebook. When finger painting, it's a lot of fun to just kind of let the swirls go. And I'm also going to do what I similarly did with normal painting, is I'm going to dip into that yellow to add highlights at the top. There's the saying, there's more than one way to skin a cactus. I think there's more than one way to paint a tree. And you could even try all three of these methods if you'd like. Maybe draw them all together and all have fun. And with a clean finger, I'm going to dip into the yellow. It's a mid-yellow, in case anybody was wondering. I didn't actually have green on hand, so I mixed it with yellow and blue. And towards the top, just adding that yellow. Letting it mix a little bit in with the green. And here's my fun finger painted little green tree. So now that I have time, and I'm going to show you all of the ones that we have done, I'm going to actually paint our large tree that we painted earlier. And I didn't initially paint it just because it needed to dry before we did anything, but I'm going to show you all of the different trees up here with the different methods. I'm going to clean off my hands a little bit and paint our large tree. So I'm going to clean off the brush I previously used. So weird angle. Grab my palette and we can go ahead and start. So I think we should kind of do, I'm debating, we could even have a tree that has all the different ways. Let's do that. I'm going to grab my Q-tips. So we're going to incorporate the different methods into our large painting here. So I'm going to take these Q-tips and we're going to have the green tree be over here. Green part of the tree be over here. No tree is perfectly straight. If yours is a little wonky, it's all right. It makes it unique. So I'm just using these Q-tips. And also get creative with your painting. If you don't have Q-tips or you don't have bubble wrap, try painting with something you've never painted before. I saw a video of somebody use forks to make leaves, which is really cool. I'm dabbing my way up. As the paint lessens on your brush or Q-tips, drag it towards out. Give it more of a realistic look. Now let's paint the top of the tree. I feel like this tree is going to be multiple seasons. More like the fall tree that we painted earlier. I'm going to dip into my red again. Mix up that orange that we made earlier, which is half red, orange. I believe it's a canary red and a deep yellow. Dab a little bit on the palette, and then dab it on the tree. Put them back into that orange, and filling it in. Just be careful to make sure that, again, that your tree is dry so it doesn't mix with the black and muddy up your colors. Also going to blend that green, make it a little seamless with the orange, just as if it's kind of transitioning to that color. Dabbing back into our lovely orange here. Also, although we are quarantined, we have to stay inside, make sure to go outside and get a fresh breath of air, even if you're just sitting on your porch, or just go outside, walk your dog. Remember to go outside and enjoy the outdoors a little bit, get some fresh air. Remember, I'm going to go a little bit into that red. Color it. And into that bright deep yellow. Where's the top? Now, kind of using these as different seasons, I'm going to actually show you how to dry brush your tree to make it look like it has bark, similarly to how I had earlier. So we'll leave the second side kind of bare to represent winter as I remove these, and I'll show you how. So I'm going to clean off my brush. I have paper towel off screen, and I'm thoroughly cleaning off my brush. And I have some white on my palette that I haven't used. I'm going to dab into this white. I still have a little bit of yellow, but that's okay. I'm going to lightly tap it on the palette first. And the light's coming from this side, so we'll have the light side more. So it's here, and you're just going to dab, just like you've done with the leaves. More towards the right side if you want your sun to be coming from here. We're just going to drag the brush across to give it this cool little bark texture. By doing this, it makes it more realistic. If you're at home painting with browns, I would use a light brown and then go in with the white. But since I have a black, I thought it would be somewhat fitting to go over it with white. Again, I'm just gently dragging it across. And applying more white to the right-hand side. Or left-hand side, more towards me. But it looks like they're right to you guys. Don't forget to dab some a little bit over for your shadows. And we'll drag some up here. Maybe even put a little bit on our leaves. I'm going to mix some green with this light. Just to add a little bit of light on that green. Tad bit of yellow. I'm going to add a little bit towards the top. I'm going to do the same a little bit with our bright orange. So we're going to go ahead and dip into that white, into that orange we made earlier, add a little bit more yellow. And we're going to blend that in. If you're watching from home and you're curious about anything, don't be afraid to ask any questions. And since we've got time, I'm going to paint some grass. Just because it's only at 30 minutes. So I'm cleaning off my brush again. I'm going to keep using this brush because this is a fun brush for grass. I have a thin brush later. Again, I have my green, but this green is a little bit more of an earth green. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to make it a light green for our grass. I'm just mixing that along. I'm going to start at the base of our tree, just kind of drag it up. If we have time, I'll use the Q-tips to help make flowers. We're going to cover up the tree with the grass. And in a second, I'm going to come in with a smaller brush and really make that grass look like grass. I'm going to blend that down a little bit. So in circular motions, just blend down. Kind of spread out that paint. Now, so being that we have a lot of light coming up here to this side of our tree, I'm going to dip back into that original dark green and give our tree a lovely little shadow. So I'm going to go into a thinner brush. You can use the same brush if you like. Add a little water. Water down your paint a little bit so it spreads. We're going to add a flower or two. So I'm just adding little stems. Grabbing my Q-tips from before, only this side I'm going to use either one or change up my color. So I'm going to unband it, keeping with our theme of stuff at home. Now let's get some red, orange, kind of yellow, different type of color flowers. I've got some pink mixed up here. Have some in the grass a little bit. Let's get some pink in there. About to make on Wednesdays we wear pink joke. I'm just gonna dabble it in the grass. And I think that looks pretty good. Checking in on our time. So I'm gonna show you the different stuff we made with our different materials. So are there any questions about what I did today? If there's anything else you guys would like me to paint while I'm here, I'll gladly do that. With a little bit more time. 10 minutes early. Also, with the painting, I definitely want to donate it to the Earth Rebirth organization. And again, thank you so much for inviting me for the Earth Day Virtual Fest. I've had a blast painting these with you guys. I think it's really cool to use different stuff around the house, kind of recycle things that you normally wouldn't paint with. A lot of people have Q-tips around the house. A lot of people will have bubble wrap. Also, if you have any crazy ideas that you want to paint with, anything that you think is interesting, please send us a picture. I'd love to see it on the McKinley's 4-H Student Project Club Facebook or my Facebook. My name is Stuart McKinley. You can easily find me there. And if you want to find out any more classes, again, my brother and I have a STEAM workshop. And for those of you who don't know what STEAM is, it's science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And by combining all of these, we do different classes, whether it be from different things, from obviously art projects to cleaning pennies, learning about chemical reactions, learning about the water cycle, and other things. So again, thank you so much for having me. Any questions, feel free to ask them. We can't hear you, Mr. Andrew.
Oh, sorry. Let me get that fixed. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Check, check.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, how long have you been doing that? This obviously isn't your first time doing this tree.
I actually, when I was in 9th grade, I created something similar to this with an art class, and I've always been doodling different trees. So it's kind of been for a few years just for fun, and I often do a lot of like character work, cartoons. So I do a lot of different art, realistic stuff, kind of a whole bunch of different things.
That's super cool. If you can step over to the left a little bit, or yeah, there you go. Just because when he puts a split screen up there, perfect. Yeah, then we can both see each other. So do you have, from what I understand, different like video courses or kind of trainings for people to do this as well online?
We do. My brother and I, he's actually over there with our Facebook live stream. Where basically we do different classes teaching different things. Since COVID-19, it teaches different projects, and you can also follow along. My brother and I have a 3D printer, and we've utilized it to 3D print masks, and we've been delivering it to Hot Wheels and first responders. So it's kind of a cool kind of project space where you can learn different things, whether it be from art to different stuff about the earth, like water cycle. It's just fun if you're kind of bored or want to learn something new.
Right, absolutely. Is there like a Facebook page or a website in particular people can find all your videos?
There is. I think my mom can link it to this, but it's the McKinley 4-H STEM Project Club.
Right, okay. Yeah, we'll make sure that that's in the comments. So if anybody's looking for it to follow it and wants to find your videos, that was awesome though. You're definitely a natural teacher. I can tell that for sure. Are you wanting to be an art teacher in any form, or what's kind of your goals?
The weird thing is I'm kind of a wild card. I like to kind of do anything and almost everything. I ride horses, I do musical theater, I've done public speaking with 4-H. I do want to do something art involved. I really like art and animation, but I can definitely see something in the future where I'm doing art.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too. Well, cool. Do you have any messages or anything else you want to say to everybody out there watching?
Everybody, it doesn't matter what age you are, it's always a lot of fun to paint. Even grab pencils, draw, test yourself, and have fun. Make sure to go outside, get a fresh breath of fresh air. Be mindful of others during the COVID-19. Just have a good Earth Day.
Definitely. Well, thank you for helping us. Thank you for joining us. That was a great tutorial. Make sure to hang around and share the video and hang out in the comment section if anybody has any art questions for you.
Will do.
All right. Have a good rest of Earth Day.
You too.
All right. Eamon, come join me real quick and let's talk out kind of what the schedule looks like a little bit. So can you pull up the schedule next to us and we'll kind of do a triple screen with the schedule and see what's coming up. I know that up next in about 15 minutes, I will be interviewing Clayton Ferrara from Ideas for Us in Florida. And I got to say, this is an organization I am a big fan of. I heard about it 5 or 6 years ago after graduating college when I had somebody I was in a training with tell me that it reminded them a lot of what Rebirth was trying to accomplish. And boy, did it, but they are doing so much all over the world. So I'm really excited to talk to him about how they got started, what they're doing now, and how organizations and communities are kind of adapting when it comes to sustainability and some of these actions during quarantine, COVID-19, and Earth Day. Eamon, what is up after that? I believe, that was your session, right? Isn't Amanda going to be replacing you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a small break until about 3 o'clock. We'll put up our intermission graphic, and then when we come back at 3 o'clock, I'll be talking to, well, is this schedule or are we going?
It was a schedule, but it's blank. I don't know.
Get rid of that, and let's go ahead and just put up the intercession graphic, and we'll talk to everybody in about 15 minutes. See you in a bit.
See y'all in a little bit, guys. Enjoy y'all's Earth Day. Let us know what you're feeling from this live stream. Let us know what we can better and do for future events. We love you guys. See y'all soon. Oh.